Flat British, Martin speaking. Guys, see you today. I'm just going to check my audio, see if I'm coming through. This is a beautiful day today, guys. Flat British, Martin speaking. Yeah, I'm good. I got an image that's reasonably clear, and I have volume that is reasonably clear. Good to see you today, guys. Loads happening. I'll fill you in now. Shortly, I'll be joined by a guest, Mr. Nathan Oakley. He's going to be filling in on a few things that have been going on in the realm that is the flat earth. Hope you're all good today, guys. It's been an awesome day today. The sun has been shining. It's been a beautiful day in Wales. So let me show you what Martin's doing, guys. Let me just see who people turned up, 7, 8. Or come over. Hey, Ma. Hey, Ma. Good day to you. It's a beautiful day. I'm under the umbrella, keeping out of the way of the sun, because I think I'm cooked enough. Right. Ooh, lovely breeze. Hey, Maggie. Good day to you. So, I've gone all dark. I mean, in the sun. I'm trying to keep my laptop out of the sun, guys. I don't want to char grill it. There's a Hercules transport aircraft directly overhead. Really large. So, that is right. I'm going to go with the sun. Excuse me. You know what, guys? Stay there. There you are. Fuck it. I got my set done. I got my flowers in the background for aesthetics, so to make it aesthetically pleasing. Right. This will be a full vlog. I'll just give you a rundown in my last 24 hours because I am truly on a mission. I'm on a mission from God to get this out to the masses, the flat Earth. So I've been sort of in the last few days. There's been some good stuff happening. Yesterday, Friday afternoon in rush hour, if you don't know already, Stan, who is Space Cowboy UK, the YouTuber, put a link in the descriptions box, went out with his family and friends with a safe banner, 25-foot long, YouTube, flat Earth, research flat Earth YouTube. Really big sign. I'll show it. Well, you've seen it because they're on my thumbnails for my other videos. And he was there, rush hour traffic in London, in the busiest time of day, on the busiest road in Western Europe, possibly. And all lorries were going, So I had an awesome time. So I really love that effort. And the people, James, who you might see there in who's Rainbow Hustler, and other days he's different things like Flat Earth Addict. It depends what kind of day James is having, is what appetite he has. So he's been busy, Benny, as well. He's got tarpaulins as well, and things that we can do to utilise. But what I'm heading for, guys, there's plenty of people involved in this now, is one day next month, so we can have time to coordinate. One day next month, we'll all get out into our towns, and we're going to put up, like, say, like a for sale sign. They're good. Or like one of those vote Labour. Instead of that, research flat Earth, YouTube. So I put this idea out 2 days ago, and I've got a lot of response. So this is going to be good. So what we'll do at the time, right, is when you do the sign, take a photograph or a video, send it to me, and we'll make a nice video with you all on there for a bit of a compilation for your shout, a bit of recognition for your effort, and we'll have a nice big with all of the signs and the people. So bit more extra incentive to go and do this simple task. One day next month. But don't let me stop you. Put it out, you've got a house, no shame, flat Earth. So I've managed to break one of my atlases, but I have many, and it's a modern one, so they're useless. And they all lie. So I haven't gone into my 24 hours yet, in the last 24 hours. So I have a map of Britain, okay? The United States of Britain land. All the pink dots are destinations we already have covered, okay? See the little red dots in Scotland? But in a couple of weeks, I want to look at that map. Which is fucking upside down. Okay, Wales. Look at Wales. Yeah, I'm going to get around. Scotland. Not a couple in London. 7 million people. 7 million people. I hope to see more pink dots. So that's going to be covered with pink dots in a couple of weeks, where everyone's going to get involved because they'll get all excited because it's summer. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to bring Nathan Oakley on shortly. He's got some stuff to cover. Now I haven't been doing my comments because I haven't got near them, but I'll give you a little rundown in what I'm thinking and what I've been doing in the last 24 hours. Right, I've been going around all show more or less to try and promote what I'm up to, the idea of flat Earth activism, instead of the rhetoric of people making videos trashing other human beings, which is soon to be over, by the way. Oh no? Okay. People who want to make videos and make a name for themselves, trashing and using other people's names to do so. That is going to be very short term. So hangouts. There's been a lot lately. I noticed last night for the first time ever. Hearts and minds, this is a war of heart and mind. We have to win their minds. It's a war of minds. And I noticed last night that Mr. Stargod, Rich, cranked up a hangout. Now, obviously, Rich, who's who I would class borderline HD. HD stands for Hated Division. They're the opposition of our great cause. So I see him borderline, but he's awfully rude. So I thought that maybe he would turn over a new leaf and be a good human being and basically join the ride and get this forward in a positive way. Stop thinking bullshit and do something more productive with your time instead. That's what I say. Basically for everybody. Drama, it's okay if you want drama. Coronation Street's on at past 7 every night on HTV. Drama on there, but it's what people want. Now, what my mind is thinking about lately, before I get Nathan Oakley to come shortly, is obviously spirituality. I'll get to my last 24 hours. Don't do that. Yesterday I went on 2 Dells last night, Beyond the Imaginary Curve, although I was cut short because somebody was banging shit out of my door to tell, about what my plans are. And I got good support from that camp, Awesome, which is the same camp, which is Flat Earth. And then I went on to Dread's show, which is Exposed Truth, briefly a little bit time later to spread love and put people right, because people are getting obsessive over bullshit. Okay, so later on in the night, then I do my rounds. I was observing my Flat Earth brothers out in the arena, so to speak. Well, I sort of noticed Brother Sanchez with his hangout, and it's racially motivated. It brings actual race into it, as in colour. Now, to me, and I had to say something, to me, I don't think race or colour should even be in a context of a sentence, because it's the Hegelian dialectic at play to drive people against one another when we all are on the same plane, humans. I don't see this thing going on. These people obviously do see this thing going on. Difference between people's skin tone. It's unusual. So there's a sort of other faction now of the Flat Earthers, which is really cool. Part of it, Flat Power, which is akin to the Black Panthers movement of the late 1960s, which was another psyop. So that's all good and fun, but I don't think race, I really don't think that should even be in the context of anything to do with Flat Earth. I really don't. Not when we realise what's happened, the massive lie, and how deep does it go? And when you start to dig, you find that most things are a lie, okay? Is there any truth? No, not really. We're not on a ball. We're not on a world. We're on a realm of existence. Experience this reality subjectively. And we're trying to make, I left a comment on somebody's post. Somebody said to me, somebody's rude post, somebody said to me, why don't you bring your Masonic fucking map to your channel and discuss it? My map? What map is that then? Or a map of I? It's fucking weird. And I will kill your channel on a picture of a bomb. This person obviously doesn't know me very well, does he? That's going to go down like a lead balloon in the community, I'm sure. But good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's supposed to be religious as well, this person, who I'm not going to mention because that's giving them publicity, and I don't think they're worth anything. Ponscom. So I'm reading about mysticism, something I've been really intrigued with for some years. Why am I so intrigued with mysticism? Because they are people in our society that can see between dimensions, and the Vatican and the powers sniff them out and they round them up. They have them using them for visionary purposes, and the other people who are out in the community keeping quiet of what abilities they do have. There are plenty of them out there. Okay? Years ago, they used to round them up, put them in a thing called the Mystics School. You may have heard of it, to do with the Library of Alexandria, Metagat, and the rest. Sorry, there was a bird just went. Let me just join you guys. There's so much happening. So I did all the shows yesterday, trying to make sense of the confusion and what it is. It's not, well, it's the early stages of their awakening process, and you go through different processes. After the argument of ball and flat is over with, and then your psyche knows, oh yeah, of course it is flat. How could I believe them nutty things that I believe? And then you can move on with the next step, the next stage, which is, to me, digging into the human potential, what we truly are, which is what the elites really, really, really don't want us to know. They want, obviously, not obvious, but I got a sneaking suspicion, they want the flat earth out because it's here and they haven't stifled it or haven't made it illegal or anything. So it's here. So they want it fed out, they want it out. But what they don't want is they don't want us to know what we truly are. They really don't. And what are we? Well, when you're truly awake, you're anything you want to be. So set your intent, set it clear, never doubt, and get what you want. We got a lot coming up, guys. Now we got meet in 22nd of this month in Royal Lemon Spa and Nathan Oakley's town. I'll bring him on now. We'll talk about it. Patricia Steers put a post out, a really classy song, and I love that song. I can't remember what it's called. I'm just going to bring in my guest, hopefully Nathan, and drop him a link. Hope you're all having a good time today. Have a look at you all. Who have I got? Whoa, 35 people. So, hey, Annie Riley. Hey, Timothy Osmond live. No, I don't need money. God looks out for me. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to put a couple of adverts on my channel because I got these meets coming up, and all the flat Earth is doing is costing me a load of money. It's shelling me out. So I'm going to try and get a little bit back in on the adverts. That's nothing, Tim. No, I got a NASA footage last night. Bling Bling posted, and they're doing this deliberately. ISS, spacewalk, and there's a reflective bit on the person's sort of spacesuit, and there's a woman with long dark hair, clearly, and she's walking around in space apparently. Maybe she just holds her breath. I don't know how it works, but is it a lie? Is this on the internet? Is it all superimposed? Possibly. You can't really believe anything on the internet. They can do anything with this shit, can't they? So going to pop over a link to Mr. Oakley. So, you see my chat feed. Yes, you have link. It's come up in your Skype, has it not? Yes, Tim's entitled to his views. Gem Panda's entitled to his seriously weird videos about a moon, like they landed on the moon. And getting a shout off Jeronism's video about it as well. So it's done not bad. I haven't looked at the video myself. Don't actually sub to our Gem, but it's a bit of a struggle for me to sub to trolls. Tim, that's about it, I think. So yeah, I went around last night. This race thing, that's going to have to go. I'm going to have to keep on at these people. I don't know why they're doing that. That's I'm not saying it's agenda, but it's definitely grouping people into a section separate from the rest of us. Really not good. I think people should be more open. Once you realise the creator, you should be into racial equality at least. So I think Mr. Oakley's going to join me very shortly, cover all the different things that have been happening. Things are moving quite swiftly. We got a lot of, in the background, we've been organising, I have been organising as well, the stuff to do with the conference next year. That's going to be a lot of work. Nice one, Nathan. How are you? You have no volume just yet?
I'm good. How are you doing, Matt?
Excellent. Good to see you, brother.
I'm good. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm afraid I watched your video this morning about your grandmother. That was quite alarming. Maybe you'd like to tell the viewers what's been happening. That was incredible.
Got it up straight away. So I've already had my ear bent by my folks because I can't prove it. I can't prove that's happened. And obviously I'm cut from the same wood. I'm a pretty big skeptic, and they were quick to jump down my throat and go, well, you can't prove that's happened. I was like, well, okay, no, that's true. But, when I said she hasn't got all the marbles, she'll repeat things like 17 times. And when it's something that's actually happened to her, she'll be quite specific about the details and she'll repeat them. So she'll forget she's told you. So, and I don't know, I gave my case to them and they were like, well, still they weren't impressed. So there we go. Maybe I won't go into too much detail about it. Feel free to go and watch that video on my channel if you want to.
Yeah, I'll put it in the descriptions box for this video. But quite alarming. I do believe that's happened. She's quite rational from the video I watched on her talking about the Bible and that. It's just a little bit forgetful. But you're not going to imagine someone sitting in your front room like that and things being moved around. You would know, definitely.
Well, she's got a purse and it had money and she knew the exact amount that had gone from it. So I was like, when you get details like that from somebody, you just think, well, you're not making it up. But there we go. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
I don't blame you.
Any more trouble, the powers that definitely should not be in my case when it comes to things like this. I don't want to be in trouble with them.
No, don't even go there. So there are other things happening. There's loads happening in the community, really exciting. I know you have had a video made by Vice Media, whatever they are, a website, a magazine, I suspect. Really interesting, brilliant post, really professional. Hopefully that's going to go viral. But I did have a hangout 2 nights ago. Eternal Padawan, mentioned neighbour had called him and her friends in work had seen it on the mainstream, passing it around, and came to him and said, you know this guy? He said, Nathan Oakley. I said, yeah, that's him. So people are seeing it out there. So hopefully it'll go the same way as the tantric sex video.
Yeah, well, the tantric sex guy had, I think they said it was 10 million views at the time that they filmed, and it had only been out a few days when we were shooting. I was like, wow, that's a lot, wow. But I don't know. They don't publish the figures, so that's what they told me. Again, no reason to disbelieve what they're telling me. So you would think that with someone like Vice, and you see their published figures on YouTube, but this was published on Facebook, I believe, although I got the direct link to it. But yeah, it was good. I've already come under criticism, only a small amount. I've actually had huge amounts of praise, much more than I was expecting. You kind of expect to be critiqued left and right, but no, I was more praise than criticism. But the criticisms are kind of easy to overcome when you say it was an hour of filming and it's been cut down to about 5 minutes. Some of the context has changed subtly, but ultimately speaking, everything I said I was happy with saying, and I was very conscious that I had a mic on. So I didn't say anything I wouldn't want broadcasting. And yeah, you can slightly alter to things, but they didn't particularly. And I was 99% elated with what they put out. And from the feedback, so were the people that watched it. You know, it's difficult to please all the people all of the time, but it seems to please most of the people that have seen it. And other than having a few what I call noob trolls come along out of the blue and go, you know, are you bonkers? It's like I say the same thing I said on the interview, which is like, either prove your globe, my friend, or go and have a little look. Just go and research it. Just have a look at flat Earth. You know, don't give me a grief. I've had it for 2 years.
Yeah, old school. I don't go there. Don't bother there anymore. But so that is
thanks for the compliment, Martin. But I will say your game has been stepped up. So I mentioned this on my last interview with Carly Sunshine, and you and her have got a lot of parallels in terms of that's why I mentioned it on that show. You know, I really hope she didn't mind right at the end of her show me talking about you. But ultimately, you and her have got a lot of comparisons in terms of what you've both done at a similar time, which is to say you've both stepped up your game. You know, you and her have both gone, right, let's move forward. Let's gain a wider audience. Let's do things a bit more professionally. And you especially have focused on specific topics. And we had this conversation earlier, but, you know, you look back 2 years ago at your videos and you kind of holding the camera and you've got a shaky book or whatever you're explaining. Now you've got full on HD, clear resolution. You're not too fussy with the mouse. You don't cover the picture constantly with your mouse pointer. You're getting to the details of stuff, showing your investigation as you do it. Obviously, you've done your homework before you press record, and you've just got it a lot more sorted. You've got a nice opening page. You're doing the thumbnails. It's just upped your game. And very quickly, you've noticed your subscriber count's going up. You know, more people are interested in you and more inclined to share your stuff. And more power to you, mate. I'm really proud. You know, really pleased for you.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. Yeah, I have. I've been trying to up my game. Well, the platform's there, and I realise like the responsibility that comes along with it. But I'm prepared to do that, and I'm prepared to take the weight of more subscriber base. I know I can do it. So I do. I needed to up my game. I'm not going to get anywhere to keep dribbling them out. So I have the technical ability. I can, within my parameters, I can do whatever needs to be done now. I can wrangle troops to do different things, and we're all working together. It's a sweet thing. It's a really sweet thing. Of course, but now we got the meet in Saturday after next in the UK, so that's going to be really groovy. Can't wait for that. If you don't know about that already, guys, I'll put a link in the description box. I think was it posted by Mark Sargent as well, Nathan, or just Patricia?
Yeah, he's mirrored it. Patricia's just made her own video. I think she had a little bit of help from Mark, but yeah, she's edited together a video that's publicising it now. And Mark mirrored my most recent video because I've done two about it. But it's one way, I want to put in that little bit extra work. Try and get it out a little bit more. I'm glad you're promoting it now because it's going to be good fun. It's one of the, you said it quite succinctly on one of your recent videos about activism, and you said, yeah, I'm getting out there to the meet and greets, but I'm glad that there's people out there being a bit more proactive in terms of getting the message out. And admittedly, this is not the latter. This is the meet and greet. It is I like Patricia saying when it comes to this, pressing the flesh. That's what this is all about. But ultimately, this is a movement about people. There's lots of people that would categorize it as an anti-government or an anti-establishment movement, but I see it as a pro-people movement. People realizing their own potential and
empowering themselves. Yeah, people are empowering themselves now with this movement. You're right. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good. Having a good laugh, which is hopefully what it'll be, same as the Oxford meet, is what it's all about. If it's just all super serious, looking at flat Earth information, which I love too, because it is absolutely fascinating. You have someone like Good Times for All, Zachary Zabala on, and you're talking about the way that the curvature has been engineered into our maths on the mass scale, and he's doing it on the small scale. That gives me goosebumps. It's amazing. But by the same token, you just want to, I hope Jeremy comes. I hope Gem Panda comes, and we can have a proper laugh.
I asked him last night.
I hope he does come, because it would be a good giggle. Because to get on with somebody on this setting where you've got a million miles of internet fiber between the two of you, you can get away with more. But if you can actually reach the point where you can get on with somebody on this level, you're going to get on with them in person. It's almost a given. Not necessarily true if you're meeting somebody to date them. You don't necessarily have the spark of love, but on a general level, just meeting people on a normal scale for a drink and a sandwich or whatever, you're going to have a good laugh, even with people who are absolutely against you in every way, shape, and form in terms of the flat Earth ideas. And it's the same with people who meet each other that have got different political views or different racial views. You mentioned earlier, there's no doubt that there'll be black people at that meeting and they'll press the flesh same as everybody else. It won't be any different. It won't be the case that we'll be debating flat earth or race or any other particularly hot topic, but it'll come up in conversation, you know, in the pleasantries of the day. I have no doubt, you know, you'll be shouting from the rooftops flat earth in Leamington Spa, which I can't wait to see. That'll be amusing. You know, Patricia will undoubtedly be a lot more down key, a lot more subtle, talking subtly about flat earth with people. But yeah, it's I can't wait. It's going to be good.
It'll be beautiful. I know it was, but I got a lot of interest. I've had maybe 24 emails, people telling me they're going, maybe 4 or 5 just last night alone. They just come in daily. People are really, really looking forward to this. It's an awesome thing. This is going to be the big meet. You know, we've like last year when we went to Hereford, there was just the 3 of us and the family, wasn't there? So
yeah, Hereford,
and then Oxford.
Before or since. Do you remember the guy that we met there? So he made it up to, I think my wife was pregnant at the time, so Eleanor wasn't there. So it was me, you, my wife, and this guy called Steve, who has never left a comment, who's not mentioned anything since. You know, just seen not hide nor hair of this guy. But he made it essentially a proper meetup. You know, different corners of the country came together to see the Mapper Monday. It's a very popular video on my channel. I think it's had 4,000 or 5,000 views, which for me is very good. But that's, you know, a good experience. And to publicise that as the first, how did we phrase it in the end? I think it was the first
historical, official, independent flat earthers.
Independent, that was the phrase. It was the first independent UK meeting. And I can't remember for the life of me, we'll have to ask Patricia, if it was pre or post her mixers. Because if it was pre her mixers, we'd be the first documented one.
Well, pre. It was March, early of 2016. So there was no mixers at that time. First or last summer. Oxford was the first bigger one in Britain. So, and imagine now compared to Oxford now, this one this year, it'd be awesome.
Okay, chickens. I mean, I don't know how, if we had a handful of people come, I'd still be absolutely delighted. I said this when we went to the Space Centre, and again, there was about half a dozen people there that came. I think maybe a few more. I think it was 10 total. But it didn't bother me because it was more about the location in that particular instance. And in this instance, it's my home turf. I like where I live, so it's going to be good no matter what. And I kind of know that there's going to be a fair few people like yourself. There's been enough people that have contacted me that I'm pretty certain will attend. So it's going to be enough people to you know, be a success. Let's put it that way. And what is a success? A success will be if I get to eat my lunch and talk about flat Earth for at least 5 minutes. And if you're there, I'll definitely get to do that. So it's going to be a success for me no matter what happens.
It will be. It will be. But all we do is just relax anyway, and all the different conversations going on. You remember what it was like in Oxford? We walked around a group of people. There were one group would be talking about one thing, and the other group would just hear all the different, really cool conversations. I absolutely love that. I think meets are so important. You know, people weren't really that enthusiastic in the beginning. Some people now much more, because it's this community that we've built on the basis of truth. And once we get together, you know, it's therapeutic to us all as well, because some people are left on their own with this, Nathan. I was in a hangout last night, and a lady, she's in a country, she's the only one probably in a country, all she knows of, and she's completely isolated. The only people she can talk to about what she knows is on hangout. I let her know she wasn't alone, because the flat earthers here. But, you know, there are people out there alone, and this is their opportunity to go and meet other flat earthers. You know, it's in a case of jumping on a bus or a train, and it's there for an awesome day out in a beautiful part of the world. I have looked on Google Earth. Oh my, so pretty.
Yeah, it is definitely a pretty part of the world. I mean, it's one where, again, afterwards there's all sorts of things like Warwick Castle that people can potentially go to as well, because it's just
how far is it?
Part of the world. Warwick Castle, 2 miles. It's like not very far.
No, I want to see the biggest trebuchet in the world there, the catapult cow or something. You know,
yeah, it's set fire to the boathouse. I mentioned this on the video like I did when I was in Warwick Castle, wife and kid. But yeah, they launched a giant flaming fireball and it set the boathouse on fire. So yeah, it's just been rebuilt actually. But yeah, that was a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
I would really like to see Warwick Castle. That's a real castle. Yeah, I would love awesome. That. Miles, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's very good condition. It looks pretty mint.
I'm just wondering what the weather will be like after weeks of this really, really hot, beautiful sunshine. What it'll be like by 2 weeks' time.
Well, that's something that I've been discussing on and off for quite some time with Stephen Chess. and I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning him because he's making a few videos about it at the moment. But for those who don't know who Stephen Chess is, he's the most humble flat earther you will ever meet. You know, the guy's debated Stefan Molyneux, he's done call-ins to Alex Jones, you know, but you probably, when I've done shows with him, so it's not like he doesn't show his face because you've been on them with me and him. Yeah. And most people in the comments will be like, who the hell is this guy? Because he's very softly spoken, he's very modest, but he's spoken about this as well on several of the shows over the last 12 months. He's been figuring out how the weather works. You might say, so what, we have meteorologists, we know how the weather works, but like most things, it's shrouded in deception. And when you figure out that the heliocentric system is not as the world is, you know, it's not as presented, shall we say, you can start looking at a multitude of things. This is why flat earth never gets dull. And he's been looking at it, not necessarily documenting anything, just talking about it vaguely on a few hangouts, but for a good year. And now he's going around the full circle again and starting to pull out pieces of information and tie down a few more variables. And he's getting it down to a fine art, to the point where he'll say that the winds are going to come in at X time today, and they'll come in and I'll go, wow, that's amazing. But he'll be kicking himself going, yeah, but they didn't quite stay as long as I expected. Why is that happening? Wow. So it's just cool to watch, you know, this stuff when you have it explained, especially by someone like Stephen, who's very cool, calm and collected. It is a breathtaking thing to listen to, you know. And as I say, he's just got himself an iPhone and started using iMovie. And it's a bit, hopefully he'll carry along the same path as you. You know, his videos will get better and better and better. His descriptions of what he's explaining is happening will get better and better. But for them,
something I know he is, because you said to me about this 2 week span, and you said, check the weather in 2 weeks, Matt. I bet you it'll be mild. And it was 2 weeks to the day, and it was mild. And I remember waking that morning thinking, Christ, the weather's changed. It is mild today. Do you remember saying that from one of the broadcasts?
Don't start asking me for weather predictions, because, you know, I think, again, I've said this to Stephen, so I hope he'll concur this if he ever speaks to me again about the subject. But there's a upward and downward pattern throughout the month, depending on the moon and the sun and their positioning and what phases it's going through, etc., etc., etc. But there's about, I would say, half a dozen variables, depending on your geographical location. They will differ, but you could pick out maybe 6 or 7 different things that you could track over a given period, all be presented with the information for the last 12 months, and get a fairly good idea of how to predict what's going to happen, to the point like Stephen is now, where he's saying, well, I know what's going to happen tomorrow and when it's going to happen, but, you know, he hasn't necessarily got the exact timings down. But he's looking at it where he's into, you know, the 30th, 40th, 50th variable, and he's really tying down the details on it based on his geographic location and expanding that out beyond that and discussing it a bit more openly. So it is fascinating, and I'm not going to claim to be any expert. It's still, every time he talks to me, I'm like, I thought I understood it like this, you know. But it's one where I'm hoping to talk to him about it so much more, because it does affect our lives. You know, how and what the weather is going to do does affect your day-to-day lives. And he's getting in arguments with people about what the weatherman says. You know, the weatherman says it's going to do this tomorrow, and he says, well, the weatherman's wrong, I'm right. And people will get into almost like global heliocentric style, what's the word? Just bracing against it and saying, no, I've been told by an official source that this is what's going to happen, and they study it, so therefore that's right. And he's like, well, take it or leave it, we'll see tomorrow. And sure enough, he turns out to be correct, and then the person doesn't want to talk to him. You know, it's just like, oh god, it's globe heads all over. But with the weather,
a real meteorologist.
just a dude just watching what's happening. You know, I try and always, I said this in the Vice interview, I don't know what the sun is, I don't know what the moon is, and I try and say to Stephen Chess, well, what is it? You know, or questions that are angled around the why of what that thing in the sky is. In other words, how is it affecting this thing? And he keeps giving me the same answer. I don't know, but I know what it's doing. I can observe that. It's tangible. I can see the winds coming in. You know, I can observe the temperature changes. So I was like, well, what's the temperature going to be tomorrow? And he's like, well, that's the one variable that they give you first on the weather forecast that is the most intangible throughout the day. Yeah, someone could come along and say they give you highs and lows on the weather forecast, but ultimately speaking, you might hit that high for 10 seconds. You know, it doesn't necessarily have any reflection on what the day's weather is going to be really like, because it's a constantly changing thing. So knowing what is causing the changes to progress throughout the day and why why they're happening, gives you an idea of how the weather will change throughout the day and how it will change throughout the upward or downward curve that it's going throughout the month, because we do seem to have cooling and heating periods regardless of what season we're in. So we might be in a very cold season, but the temperature could definitely be going up and getting hotter, and you might not need a jacket in the middle of winter at the hottest point of that curve. And likewise in summer, at the moment, it's, you know, you get blisteringly hot periods. Then the weatherman says there's going to be a heat wave in 3 days, but you go through a cooling period and you go, wow, why has he got it so wrong? It's like, well, because like most things, it's tied up in academia. They're told how to observe it, you know, and Stephen Chess has kind of, thrown the baby out with the bathwater. He's gone back to square one and gone, let's just look out the window. Let's actually observe what's going on here. The tangible stuff, you know, he's using the moon, or he's observing that things are happening or seemingly happening as a direct consequence of where the moon is and what it's doing in relation to the sun. So those biggest celestial bodies. But he's also now telling me, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, he's like, well, no, you can track how Venus will affect it. So you're saying a lot of the celestial bodies seems to have interactions with the weather. It's like, wow, it's mind-blowing when you hear this. And that's a recent thing he's told me, so God, I hope he doesn't give me a good slapping for it. But that seems to be like I say, when you're into the 60th or 70th variable on this stuff, which he seems to be into, you know, the 5 or 6 things that give you a vague idea what's going to happen tomorrow, kind of can get down to the real nitty gritty details of why things are happening. But amazing. I'm going to stop rambled too much about this already.
I need to ask you, I watched a video 2 days ago. It was one of the best I've seen for a while. I meant to ask seeing it. It was by an English guy, a coloured guy called Martin. He's got really a lot of subs, a hell of a lot. Never seen him before. He basically made a model, an azimuthal, but in the centre bit. But he used the analogy of NASA footage from above and seeing over the North Pole region a hollow in the clouds. He replaced this on his giant model with a big bunch of cotton wool. So he's got the camera going over the plane, and it's really quite good, you know. And then he lifts the cotton wool up. What you see is the Hyperborean, but it's in a depression. It's in a crater, lip down. I thought it was quite provocative. I never heard anything like it. And it's exactly the same scenario that they write about in, the Vedas scripture with the Brahmandala, their version of events of creation, and also in the Norse mythology as Mount Meru in the centre being the root of the tree of life. And he built a little mountain out of aluminium for his Mount Meru. But his theories went beyond that, saying that, you know, we could only perceive this place if we're pure at soul, and we're worthy. And people who have seen this place, as in the adventures of Olaf Johnson, who describes the going down some sort of what he interpreted as a whirlpool. But if it is dipping down into these lower continents, that would explain that. And he encountered these people in a Hyperborean area. So there's this theory, this guy was postulating that you could only see it, it would only be visible. Otherwise you will search forever and you will never find it. I thought it was really good. I'll pass you the link when I find it later. It's in my history.
Can you remember
really,
the guy? Just because there's a lot of people who probably watch this now that you're getting a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up on I've got my history already open. So let me find him.
Actually say their name. Like I say, I know certainly deep inside the rabbit hole, he'll listen to a lot of this sort of stuff, these sorts of broadcasts in the car, but obviously he has not got video or won't be going to links. So it's always nice to actually name the person in the video and spell their name out or whatever.
God, I'm looking for it now. I've watched so many adverts. Have you seen the new Bravia advert?
Yes, I have. Glad you've brought that up because my God, they're showing the globe on a flat screen TV, but the way it's positioned is just, I felt like it was kicking me directly in the balls, man. It was such an insult. But I was like this, I was like, what? How did they get away with that? The person who's done that ad absolutely knows that they are urinating in our faces with it. You know, it's just a joke. But yeah, I mean, maybe you describe it better than I did.
So bring it up.
If you've got it, if you can show it, it would be awesome. Yeah, definitely.
It is so savage, guys. You really need to see this, guys. You really do. Talking about globe programming right in your face. The new Bravia advert. Okay, guys, if you're ready for this, you're going to love this. Okay.
Yeah, I don't normally mention like, I'll shut up, it started.
Okay. I have no volume, obviously.
So we should really be talking over it then as we're adding copyright strike. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't normally mention, there's so much globe programming stuff like similar to this that it's everywhere all the time, but it's never normally as overt as this. It's just
wow.
outrageous.
Now, if you were on the moon, that's what you should be seeing.
That sort of scale.
Yeah. Oh God.
Again, I can hear Gem Panda ringing in my ears talking about focal length. Yeah, so they're going up to what is essentially like the giant pixels of what eventually turns into, there you go, the screen. So it's this giant, massive widescreen Sony TV that's perfectly flat.
Indirectly, they're telling you right there, aren't they?
What a joke.
Wow.
Yeah, don't get much better than that in terms of propaganda, does it, Martin?
Yeah, no. Is that my mother?
Hello. Does kind of make me want a Sony TV, though. Oh, it's the CGI mom making an appearance. Hello, Martin, CGI mom. Camera's now clicked over to me now. I've said that, so you can't see the CGI.
My mother's got like a look of shock, like she just arrived on the plane. Everything's brand new to her. It's really funny. I know.
Your mother.
She's happy in her world anyway, so that's all that matters, really. Let me find this video for you of...
While you're looking for that, Martin, right? Yeah. So you can get that guy's name in. I'm going to tell a story. You're going to hate me for this. So I went to see Martin. Paula, Eleanor and I went down to see Martin. And while we sat with Martin, Martin's telling us about some of the maps that he's got on his shelves behind him, because we're questioning him about the materials that he's got, because he's got a lot. And he gets to the end of his explanation. There's a slight pause. And Martin's mother says, "Doesn't he get boring as shit?" It was the funniest thing I have ever heard.
She does it when I'm live on a show. Just say, "God, you go on. God, you're boring."
You're not, though, Martin. I did. I'm sure I corrected your mother, as rude as that is, and said, "No, actually, I was fascinated by what he's saying."
She always frowns upon me. It doesn't matter.
She's heard it all before. That's all it is. She's heard it all before.
I'm still a hero.
Of course.
Oh, I hope I find this video.
How are you getting on? Have you managed?
Do you know what? I just watched so much, Nathan. I think it's just disappeared into the...
I can say hello to your chat while you're doing that. So, hello, INFE, Uppercut. Amy Brown, how you doing? Good broadcasting, my friend. Marilyn Wisby, how you doing? Rory McFizz Flat Earth, hello, how you doing? Tim Osman live, good to see you. Bent Anderson, is it? If Everett, sorry, my apologies. Yeah. Good to see you in Martin's chat. Shane Cumming, pleased to see you here. Thanks for being here. Cat Earth, how much for the cats? Per pound? Let me know. How you doing? Maggie M, new one on me, not seen you before. Good to see you. Mark, what's that? Swabrick, is that right? Good to have you in the chat. Nice to see you. I got to the bottom yet. I think I've mentioned everybody that's chit-chatting away. Sure, there's a few more. 70-odd people watching live. Must be James Doherty. Hello. Is that Terra something Pete? Can't read at this distance. Leslie Beckworth, pleased that you're here. Good to see you.
No, I don't even know the title, Nathan. I'm sorry. I'll have to dig it out later. Can't even remember.
I'm sure you'll stick it in the chat.
By sight, it was one of our lot that mirrored it anyway, so it shouldn't be hard to track down. Maybe well-known YouTuber too. So
check it out. Frog's come home.
Hey,
she can walk. So she started walking 5 days ago, I think it was actually. And I've got some reins, so I can walk her around like a little dog.
That's the way. Reins good. No, reins are good. I used to have a papoose, and I used to walk around with my son like in a papoose. Yeah, and I'd literally go into someone's house, and he'd say, "What have you got in your coat, Matt?" And I'd say, "Oh, my baby." I go, "No, really?" Oh, yeah. Unzip my coat, my baby would be there. I carried him around everywhere like it. I was like a little red Indian with him. So it was about one.
Yes, you like Martin, don't you? Can you say hello?
All kids like me. Hey, Ellen, the babes. Remember me? I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks. Can't wait. And Nana Carol, CGI mum. She can see you. She can hear you. She knows your voice. She knows by now.
Not looking into the camera because she doesn't know that that's what you need to do.
Oh, she's smiling though.
No. I'm going to leave you to it, Martin, because my wife's come home. So I'm going to give her
I'm going to wrap this up shortly. Thank you for joining me and filling me in. All exciting things happening in Flat Earth Arena. So,
as always, thank you very much for having me. It's been really good.
Okay, God bless, guys. Love you, and I'll see you soon, guys.
See you soon. Take care. Bye, Martin's mom.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, everybody in the audience. Bye for now.
Ta-da. Right, guys. Let me see you guys. Thank you, Nathan, for joining me. Let me just join my my posse. See what's happening. Hey, D. Right, catch it. Hey, right, Nottingham, D. Right. Well, funny a year while you're here. My map of Britain that I'm going to be laminating, and it'll be really nice. It will, for all destinations in the British Isles. Link you, James. Indeed, I will, son. James Kentail Tracks. He's going to come and talk to myself now. You be careful, mother, please. You're going to watch that gravity. Aches your back. Isn't it crazy how they used to actually blame that for aches and pains? Oh, my back's killing me. Well, you know what that is, don't you? No, it's the gravity. It pulls you down towards the earth. See? Oh, that makes perfect sense. Back to killing me. Gravity. Yeah, all right. James. James, coming through on your email, son, any second, okay? Plenty happening. Ooh, on your Effie family, James. Lovely picture. Can you sit down, please? Because I'm not got there and you're making my nerves bad. Right, well, I'll just turn the camera on. Like that. So, no. So when you go to ass over tip, everyone will be looking at you doing it. Right. In your box, James, check it out. And we talk some more about what we've all been up to. Clear thinking is the title of my blog, obviously, because that's what I believe that I am doing. Clear thinking, not confused. I am not speculating. As I said, somebody came at me last night, wanted me to, defend a AE map that I bear no mind to, whatever. And why don't I? Because we don't know what's missing. How can we base a map on when we don't know what's missing? They're still using the projections. Half of them are off of Mercator or Peterson's fucking projection anyway. You can't go by that. So I don't actually give a shit about things like that anymore. Will I ever find out? Don't know, probably when it all spills out. Excuse me, I have to attend to my lady mother. There you are. All sorted. Sorry about that, guys. Hey Rev, what's the matter? Hey free woman. Live stream. I don't know where that is, but I'm putting it down. I suppose a lot of my friends and my subscribers, like say Jono up in Nottingham, hi Mark, and people like that. I suppose I can automatically assume will help with our mass sign put up, which is coming. Hi Leslie, how are you, sweetness? Dabs tomorrow. It's Monday. Can't wait. So I think I was trying for a world record yesterday. I think I managed to go on maybe four shows to try and reach as many people as I could in one possible day on my mission. I think I reached around 5,000 people yesterday, including my own post. So that's pretty groovy. Well, go on, brother. Yeah, man. Thanks. James Chemtrail Taxi will be joining us shortly. Sorry, that's the local people walking past saying things. Any idea who that was? Okay, James wants the link in here. Fine. And he will be here right now. So we're going to be joined very soon by James, commonly known as Flat Earth Attic, for a brief word with us. So that's quite good. James's poor city is being bombarded. It's in your box. Email under your family one. I'll put it in Rainbow Hustler too, James. There's 3 links over there then. My mother's making my nerves shit the fuck because she keeps wobbling everywhere. No, don't look backwards when you're walking forwards. That can only end up bad, please.
All right, Martin.
Hi, James.
You all right, mate?
I'm very good, thank you. Epic. How are you today? How are you this?
I'm feeling good, mate. The weather's good.
It's good, isn't it, brother?
Yeah, it's been good for a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be coming up there soon. I'll make it to the Smoky Dragon soon. I got so many people up there to see.
Yeah.
And so much to do.
Yeah, cool.
Now, at the moment, I think in a couple of days, I had an email off Stan.
Yeah.
He's going to go with that banner around Parliament Square for a video.
Right, that'll make a great video, and it'll be good exposure.
If he can target it at 1 o'clock lunchtime, when you get the newscasters doing their thing in Parliament Square with Parliament behind them, you get that in this city. I've been trying to collar it. That goes out to 18, 20 million people instant.
Yeah, it's one thing having the banner out in the street. It's another thing getting it on a TV camera, so it sort of is broadcast either, because it would only work if it was broadcast live, right?
Yeah.
Because they would always edit it out if it wasn't.
They can't edit the BBC News out, I don't think. I think that's probably not an instant feed, is it?
Well, who knows, man? He's just got to try it and see what happens. Something will happen. We might pick up another Rocket Man like the billboard in Tulsa, Oklahoma did.
Well, that's what we're doing here. That's what we're going to get going. I know now, because of the influx in the last 2 days of mail, that everyone's interested. And this little island, we can cover this little island in adverts, use their tools against them. Advertising placards of any form, safe. Brilliant idea. What would you tell him about taps, James? I was interested, but I didn't quite catch it.
What's that?
About taps. You got some or something?
Yeah. Listen, I'll go and get the stuff. Hold on.
Oh, cool.
Well, basically, this is one of them. All right.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. This was for Alexandra Palace today, but we both had family arrangements.
Did you go to Alexandra Palace? That's where Nathan done that film with the whole of London below him at Alexandra Palace.
Hold on.
Excellent. So that's what we're doing: choreographing, coordinating, and getting people like I've got friends making their signs at this moment and getting ready. I am too. I'm going to be looking for a for sale signing basically having that.
Yeah, they're good ones. So basically, what I found the other day was these from Rolling Advert.
Excellent.
All right. So some of these are like plastic, the others are like canvas. So
Right.
what I'm going to do is just use them as make a stencil and then spray it on here and send them out like this big. So 1.5 by 2 foot. If people want a sign, I can make them one. Research Flat Earth.
Yes, please. You hear the year, guys. Brilliant. Thanks, James.
So that's sort of a medium-sized one. And if people can pick up old council signs like this, look, it's out of date, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just spray it on the back,
Take
right?
it on the back. Yeah, man. Cool. Of course. Oh,
But I'll also spray it upside down because so people can't really read the back,
Yeah.
Or I could make it double-sided. It just takes a bit more paint.
That's that waterproof stuff, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. And they're just littering the high street, mate, because they're out of date and no one picks them up.
How awesome. I'm going to keep my eyes open. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
What I was thinking is, they go around with flyers and they lick them up on telephone bottom and the like, where they go around with a bucket of paste,
Right,
advertising a local band. Well, I thought because my son's just fixed the printer, I could burn off a couple of, because I got a collection of flyers and I had a couple more given to me last night. So if anybody needs them, martinleaker70mail.com, I could send you a selection of flyers, print them off if you've got a printer, or the library will do it, and just leave them anywhere. But I thought I could go around licking them up on public boxes. They do it for rubbish, James. They could do it for something more.
Yeah. Well, there's enough times that I've gone and like ripped off an advert off a telephone box because it's sort of satanic or it's like mind control advertising. So you can actually take this stuff down, take it home, spray it up, and go back and put it up because it's still sticky.
Something like that's brilliant. All these ideas are brilliant, James. And that picture I seen yesterday was brilliant. And all of the things that have been happening in the last 24 hours have been brilliant.
Yeah, it's a brilliant week.
It's
a brilliant weekend. It's a brilliant day.
Yeah, I was going to do a summary of the week, but you know what? A summary of the last 24 hours or full a couple of hours vlog. There's been so much happening. Yesterday was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Trying to get things moving, trying to kick ass.
I went down my local shop. I went down my local health food shop, and now they're selling bags of weed, but it's hemp.
Right.
But it gets me just above the level because, I've had problems buying weed, can't afford it. I've had problems with being addicted to tobacco and it changing my voice and making me ill. So I just need something just to take me up a level. And this is 0.2% THC.
Good God.
So I can make tea with it and it smells really good.
Yeah.
And it smokes good. And it's because it's quite fresh. It's not very dry. But it cost me £4 for 25 grams of English hemp.
Whoa.
And that's not bad, is it? That's like an ounce for £4. But it's actually worked. It's actually got me above the level of being sober.
On it. It's just Keith. It's just leaf and Keith. So it's byproduct.
Yeah. So basically, if anyone wants me to send them a banner like the one I've just shown you with Research Flat Earth on it, they just got to pay for the postage.
Epic. I'll put these links for James's channel, guys, in the descriptions box. Anybody contact James?
Yeah, you can contact me at Flat Earth Addict or Rainbow Hustler, which was a nickname that Cynthia OC gave to me when I was in the free chats.
Oh yeah, Cynthia.
Yeah, she kept on calling me Rainbow Hustler, and so as I quit driving a taxi, I just thought I might as well use that as a new channel name. But I would advise anyone not to change their channel name ever because nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Somebody said to me in my comments 2 days ago, a new person, why don't you change your title to Flat Earth British, Flat Earth Welsh, so to avoid fusion?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's confused. Am I not British? Is Wales not in Britain now all of a sudden?
Yeah. I often think that about you, that you should have another channel, Flat Earth Welsh, or someone else is going to come along.
Do you know what, James, though? It's the time aspect, and I got so much happening now. I'm working in the background organising this conference, and there's Meet coming up, and
So are you involved in the conference?
Yeah, I'm going to be a speaker, yeah.
Of course you are, mate. That's fantastic.
Yeah, me, I'm on, I'm not sure which night. I might be on a couple of times. We're also going to do a routine. I'm not going to give you too many. There's a lot of surprises in store for everyone.
Is this the conference in London?
No, it's in Birmingham in April next year.
Oh,
it's
right.
Conference UK 2018. First of its type in the UK.
Brilliant.
And the website will go live on the 31st of this month, on the 31st of July, and what have you. It's a proper website. We'll be going, well, with myself, Mr. Murphy, Dave Murphy, Dave Moore.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, Dallin Nesbitt, Curve, Del, might be on the Imaginary Curve.
It's going to be awesome.
Max Sargent.
Yeah.
Mark Oil, Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, there's a lot of people, man. Funky guys. Guy Oliver, from he's like the Eric Dubay of Spain, brother. This guy, he's got 62,000 subs, and in Spain, they're not really doing this shit. They're in the alien mainstream thing. They're not really knowing what the score is. So he's
Who's this? Guy Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver Benes. His name is. He's a really, really sweet guy.
All right, so he's a flat earther in Spain, is he?
Yes, he's got a website. Yeah, I couldn't give you the link. I'll dig it up and try and put it in the description because I can't.
Yeah.
I'm subbed, but I can't pronounce the name in English. But I am subbed, so I can put it in the description box. I'll find it after.
So do you reckon he's a mate of Matrix Decode, or he's from a different part of Spain?
I've seen him. He's a Spaniard boy. Blonde hair. No, I've seen him.
Good.
No, it's not mate. He's not one of us anymore.
Huh? What, Matrix Decode?
Yeah, well, he's not exactly globe-tard yet. He's a bit of a turncoat. More, gone back on the fucking fence. Some weird reason. I'm not even playing.
Really?
All of a sudden, there might be a fuck curve. Like I'm just lying. Am I? Fucking 10 years to see. There's no fucking curve. If it is, it's huge because it ain't visible, and it depends on the atmospheric conditions. Some days when I've been in the tropic, it's been crystal clear. I've seen things ridiculous distances. If somebody would love to explain that, I know they'll use superior mirage and all that. You won't have to do that science. I understand all of that, and the new aspects that we've covered. I understand, which academia.
So has he got a video explaining this, or is it just word of mouth? Or is it just what he said?
Always.
Oh well.
Word of mouth.
Okay, well, I'll better wait till he does a presentation about it. I mean, maybe there is a little bit of a curve going on somewhere, but we know that water's flat everywhere.
No.
There's no curve.
Look, wait, it can't undulate. It can't undulate. Water always. Look, this is so simple, right? There is no form on Earth that can, like, you can't use a raindrop or a tear because that is surf tension, and there is no object or anything on Earth where water curved on a solid object. There's nothing you can use in a frame of reference in our reality except the ball. And what are they using to tell us it's round? Well, what look like two spherical things in the sky, and all of them dots, which are potentially suns, stars, galaxies, and what we say are spherical, but they're only dots. But that's what they're using for people to believe that they're on this ball. But there's something clearly else happening. Incredible.
I'm about to do some research into the Great Circle route.
Interesting.
Because
I've done it. I've done a bit of digging into it.
It sounds like bullshit to me.
It's Masonic run. The people who run it, the Masons, the whole thing is a con. I've looked into the woman who done around the Antarctica. What was her name? The British woman. Helen McCarthy, is it? Helen McCarthy.
Oh, she did it recently, did she?
No, back about 1998, something like that. But I looked into her recently, see what her voyage. I've been looking to a lot of them. Amy Johnson last week, trying to find their voyages. Turns out, like, I'll use Amy Johnson, the person who went from London to Sydney, first solo flight. Okay, turns out she's a Hollywood actress, and then I listened to her narratives recorded of her version of events, and it's clearly bullshit. So they're not doing this trip the way that they're portraying. It's just for the world movie, the world stage, and to fill the light and permeate the globe myth.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Well, this Great Circle route was mentioned by my father.
Really?
Yeah, because he had learnt about it back in the day. They say the reason why they go via Iceland when they go across the pond to the United States is because it's a shorter route, which is absolute bullshit. Because there is no shortcut on a globe. It's always a straight line is the quickest route.
Yeah. Do you want to blow your mind, Joe? This may be true as well. All the boxes on their globe, the longitude latitude line make a box, yes?
Right.
Okay. Now they're measured unequally by acreage, apparently.
Acreage, right.
Acreage. But I have read that they're also exactly the same acreage, even when you get to the top of the ball on them little triangles on top. So they are the same size in acreage as the boxes down on the side of their ball.
Oh, they've just changed the scale for the globe.
The scale for the globe, proving that it's flat and bullshit. They're bullshit and it's flat. So I have not been able to verify that through academia, by the way, but it seems that it is based on acreage, but I can't get these, apart from my own research, the acreage for these said triangles. But it would appear that they're over much more acreage for the size of these small triangles up on the north or the south, come to think of it. So yeah, once you dig, you find out they fanny it all up, and it's so
what do you
just gotta wait.
What do you know about the Great Circle route?
Well, I've been on it, part of it. I used to do the Murmansk runs. We used to go up round into the Arctic Circle. I was on an ice class ship, Captain Theo, first class ice class ship. So you could go through up to 3-4 inches of ice, overpowered engines, real strong hull. And so you go up round Trondheim, round Bergen, and then you come down into Russia, into Archangel and Murmansk. These runs were used by the Merchant Navy for the famous Battle of the North Atlantic runs, where they say they were zipping across using what's called the Icelandic Strait and the Greenland Strait, which is a short hop from Nova Scotia across to Iceland and then darting across to England. And they say that's a shorter trip because of their bow, when in reality, they're going from Nova Scotia, not North America. If you look on their map, Nova Scotia is something like 4,000 miles north of New York City. It's so far, it's a world away. So they're not really going from where your mind tells you that they're going. They're going from really far north in Canada, and then they're going across. So it's not that they're zipping across on the bow. The channel of the Atlantic Ocean is narrower than you think, James. It really is.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to get across. People row across it.
So the thing about the Great Circle route is that people who are globe believers, they tell us that it's a shortcut, but we know it's a shortcut because the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
If you were to pull up an azimuthal, I'm not going to get one right now, but I'm sure if you looked at an azimuthal and gone from, say, Ireland and that's across to, say, Nova Scotia, you'll find it's a straight line and much shorter on an azimuthal. I could just done it mentally in my head to know it's true.
I know the flight from London to Los Angeles goes north through the Midlands. It goes up in between Ireland and Scotland. It just goes underneath Iceland and it comes down through Canada.
Right. Well, we used to have Concorde going over here twice a day, every day. We used to take off in Heathrow because I'm on the main flight route to America from Heathrow, right? And then you go at 7 minutes past 11 every day. I could keep my watch by it. And 7 minutes past 7 at night, twice a day. And you could keep your watch. You could do the sonic boom, because as soon as it went out into the channel, it hit Mach 2 and then the sonic boom had it. And they would use that same route. They would say that they would dart over to Nova Scotia or, Newfoundland, and then come down the North American eastboard to New York.
It's the biggest load of shit ever. It's the biggest lie. It's just ridiculous.
I've looked into all of these over time. All of them. All of these voyages. All of these flights. I've had people, I have to. People coming at me with, for Antarctica. Well, what about the round Antarctica race? Have you researched it? This is so interlaced with the establishment. I don't have to look any further to know what they've done. They're actually going around the outside of the masses. That's all. But I think there's action. I think they want us to think about the outside as a red herring. I believe the action is in the north, and it's closer to us. The further north you get, the lighter and the better the vibration. The lighter the vibration, I believe it gets denser as you get further out, James, towards the south. I believe towards the edges. I believe in the middle it gets more pure, more concentrated, more white, and that's why I think people are waking up more in this sort of area. Britain is, so many people are waking up here in comparison to, say, France. Now, are France waking up, James? They're only across the border, across the pond, English Channel. So where are France in this? See what I mean? You've got Germany, you've got Cesar, you've got a big movement going and people like that. But so have they got a French-speaking movement? I got a site that's flat of Japan and Brazil. Have you seen that?
The banjo guy.
Yeah, banjo.
Yeah.
So there's that happening. But I think about all these, what's happening there? This is like the Western world. This is all America and New Zealand, Australia and all of Europe. So not all of Europe, all of Britain and sort of.
Did you hear that Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, his YouTube channel came down?
No.
He got 3 copyright strikes within 24 hours or something, really quickly, and they took his channel down, but he's uploading it to a new channel.
Right. Oh shit, I'll have to have a look. What happened? What was the content?
Like I said, he just got 3 copyright strikes really quickly, and that was an automatic takedown.
That is automatic takedown. I've seen a few people posting this week that Dabu, the conspiracy guy, he posted a lot of people, I don't know, like they're not flat earthers, had their sites collapsed. We had PK Truth. PK22 was collapsed 2-3 weeks ago, and his other channel before then. For what? Well, speaking up against the establishment, calling out false flags.
Yeah, well, I think we're lucky to have this YouTube, and but anyone's channel could just go down any minute,
Yeah, I back up, James. My battery's about to run dead. I back up, actually. I've been advised to. I don't want to lose it all my content. I got nearly 500 videos. Not lose that. So I got a hard drive, 2 terabytes. Whenever I record, I download it, and anything that's important or vital, and it goes on there.
Yeah, it's a good idea, mate.
You know, I get a lot. You know, any really good video of the day, I'll download as well. Like I watched one this morning by Jerry, whereas in did you see it at all? You see that? You know, the rocket on the Falcon X comes down to land on the raft.
No, I've not seen that one. Go on.
Well, 1 minute it's supposed to be in space, and you see the ball, and then it comes in about 3 or 4 seconds through the cloud, and then this raft appears out of nowhere.
Yeah,
just appears.
Yeah,
they placed it, CGI placed it, and everyone's like, they don't see it. It's just.
Is this like an edited version?
Edited version. It's incredibly crap to.
I just want to show you this. This is a rucksack cover.
Oh, yeah.
So you just put it over your back, don't you? Over your rucksack when it rains.
Mate, this is a weird fucking thing going on here. I actually thought about putting flat earth on the back of my rucksack to take to Lenny.
Yeah, I bet you did. Well, I'll send you this if you like, Martin. Is it 20 litres? This is like a small one, 20 litres. The smallest one you can get.
Nice, mate. I still got that MMS there. I'm taking it, yeah. Well, I don't really need to. I'm super stupid.
Well, just make sure that your rucksack's 20 litres. Because where I get these from, Martin, is off eBay. They're about £3.
Okay. And a flat earth on them on eBay?
No, you can have any colour you like. But so they send it through. They air pack the envelope, so it's really cheap. So it goes to, they air pack it tight, so it goes to the letterbox cheap.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but
so they can send it cheap. And but I'm happy to spray these up for people. If they go on eBay and they choose a size and a colour, then I can spray it up, and they send it to me, and then I'll send it back. It's just a bit of postage.
You have the same thing with the baseball caps. Let me show the people what you sent me.
Yeah, that's on Zazzle.
Everybody is asking me about that.
It's on Zazzle. Yeah, Zazzle.com.
Zazzle.com, guys.
Yeah, it's a flat earth trucker's cap.
I love flat earth stuff. I don't like other stuff. I just love anything flat earth. Anything memorabilia flat earthy. And I'm like, whoa. I'm always hunting. I'm reading the best book in the world. So there's nothing much happening as great as this book at the moment. It's blowing my mind.
All right.
What's spirituality. The sacred history of the basically mysticism. The parallel that exists, eternity, not very far away, where they can see us, we can't see them. They interact with us, and they are regarded as angels, or people got many names for them in this ethereal realm, which is not very far away, which people in this reality can interact with, and they're called mystics. And throughout time, the Catholic Church has hunted down all mystics in the population to use them, take them to the Vatican for their visionary purposes, to use them for their evil. People escape the hunt for mystics, and they exist all generations. It's not just indigenous to times gone. This is now. People are mystics, and they can see things into the future, and basically this is a real thing. So I've been intrigued in this for many years. Now, this dimension, this place nearby, this eternity where they all are, they can see us. They're certainly interacting with us. It's the hidden hand. It's somewhere where people may go when they take DMT, maybe. They can encounter it. They touch their toes in it then, in eternity. This is what the book's about, but it goes so deep. Which is more real? In the first chapter they cover, which is more real, matter or mind?
Matter.
Well,
mind.
How can it be? How can it be if it's matter, right? If you go on the academia and the quantum physics level, they say there's 99.9 empty space and electrons darting in and out of reality. So it's not really there at all. So reality, you see through your eyes. You're interpreting reality through your eyes, through electrical signals. And they will tell you it's put on a small screen at the back of your head. So you actually see reality in your mind. So which is more real, mind or reality or matter?
Yeah.
Because matter's in your mind.
So what's this book called, Martin?
It's called The Sacred History of how mystics created our world, because they created the world you see through quantum manifestation or spiritual manifestation. They use the same techniques of hermetic arts or hidden techniques like esoteric techniques. They keep these techniques and they use them against us. They suppress the information. They used to, if the timeline is correct, they used to collect mystics and they used to put them in these places like a think tank called the learning schools or the mystery schools. You may know about that, where they would basically use them again for their own ends. And these things go on today. They use the same with academia. They go into the population. They will target out
really clever individuals. They'll try and snap them up and they'll get them into a think tank like MIT or, somewhere where they can use them to permeate their academia and make sure they don't wake up. And if they do wake up, give them enough money that they don't say anything. And this is what's going on. It's spiritual suppression, intellectual suppression, a constant bombardment to our senses. It's a war on our senses through food, through chems, through the drugs, through the noise, through the vibration, through the brainwashing, through the structural engineering, through the music, through the clothes, through the whole bloody thing.
I was around my mum's today and reading the Daily Mail, and they want to vaccinate babies against hepatitis B, which is only transmitted through sex and needles.
Yes,
they want to, and there's 5 other diseases they want to inoculate within this vaccine as well. So that was sort of, a main article in today's Mail on Sunday. And
would you trust it to do it? Because they just want to call my mother in, all old ladies, for a shingles vaccination.
I wouldn't write. I think it's vitamin C and vitamin D that sorts that stuff out.
It is.
Just vegetables. And you were talking about. I've been interested in the witches recently. Back in the 1600s, the witch hunts and all that. So
got it from the library this week. Unbelievable.
Right, because I was doing a hangout on my other channel, Keeping It Flat, with a guy called Ian Edwards, and he lives in Burnley near these hills called the Penwich Hills.
Right.
I think it's the Penwich Hills. But then there's a story called the Penwich Witches or something.
Oh, it rings a bell.
Pendle Witches.
Pendle Witches. Have you heard of it? Yeah.
So in the 1650s or something, they persecuted and killed 12 witches who apparently murdered 10 people. But obviously, witches back in the day were healers, and they were trying to heal people, and the people died. And so, do you know how far back it goes? The persecution.
Yeah, we'll look into
healers?
Research Hopkins, the witch hunter, gives you a good outline to what they were up to. It was just torture, oppression of good-looking females for the church. It's always going on. Like if she's heavier than a duck, or she doesn't drown, she's not a witch, but she's dead. So there's no winning. It's just mental psychology. This guy Hopkins, the witch hunter, he went across Britain, each village, like part of the Inquisition, vetting, looking at women and checking them out for their beliefs, and it was all based on the natural sciences of what nature was providing for cures and that. They got too much garlic hanging up or paisley, they're making potions, and they were off. They were going to be burnt. And they reckon 60,000 people in Britain alone, women alone, and across Europe, tens of thousands.
No doubt, thousands, maybe millions. Because recently we've had the 50. Recently we've had 50 holistic doctors murdered, either in America or England, who were dealing with GC math.
That's so.
And other things. And I spoke to someone about this, and I think I was speaking to them face to face, and they said that they knew one of these doctors, and apparently what happened is a tank turned up outside their house. A tank turned up. They're not messing about. They're sending tanks in now to kill doctors. I can't remember the rest of the story. All I remember is someone telling me a tank turned up to deal with an holistic doctor.
Yeah, I've tried with my doctor to bring up holistic things. I know exactly what they're up to. The doctors are not there for you. They're to support Big Pharma. You go in there, I'm a bit depressed. Well, you are. Have some Hypericum, St. John's Wort, Prozac. It'll go away. It'll dope you up, and it'll keep your spirit good and low. But instead of that, what they should have said was go out for a walk in the country, ground yourself, paddle in the stream maybe, or do something normal, and you won't feel depressed after. You won't need.
It's true.
But they got to back up Big Pharma because they give them money, they give them benefits at the end of the year. The Big Pharma companies do subsidies for sales on their drugs. Doctors, so they're going to do this.
That's shocking. Just like the MPs get minted for doing their service.
What about the tax as well? They're all out of it. Every rock star or musician in Britain is in a tax haven. None of them.
They
pay tax.
Yeah. Because the record companies sort it out, I presume. They all know all about that. But I watched an interview yesterday. There's a guy called Clive de Carle. Do you know him from the Health Revolution?
No, man.
Okay, well, Clive de Carle is on YouTube, and he runs a website called ancientpurity.com. And if you ever need the right herbal medicine, Ancient Purity is the place to go for it. So Clive de Carle's doing a great job, and he's been interviewing people for a long time now, including those doctors, one of those doctors who got murdered murdered for the GC math for knowing about that. But I saw an interview yesterday he did with Jennifer Daniels, and Dr. Jennifer Daniels is one of the doctors who deals with the turpentine. She was the one who discovered how they used to use turpentine back in the day to eradicate parasites and stuff like that.
Yeah, aware of it. Yeah.
So they did another interview yesterday, and she was talking about organ harvesting and how if you've got a donor card, they're going to rip you up before you're dead because they're going to make 11 million pounds out of you. And often the reason why they have helipads on top of hospitals and other places is not really for patients, it's for dealing with the organs. Because if you've got an organ that's worth so much money, you're going to stick it in a helicopter to get it somewhere, and that's going to pay for everything.
Yeah, man.
She was saying how if you have a blood test and they've got your blood test,
your blood group,
they know where to come for the organs as well. So don't do blood tests. And
we had a thing in Wales.
Organ donor card either, if I were you.
Well, I haven't got one, but we had a thing in Wales. You had to sign a date last year, right, James? Whereas, if you didn't meet that date, they would automatically assume that they could carnage your body on death.
Right.
I never got there, and then I couldn't do it on the website. I was doing something else. The date passed, so now I, my mother, and my family are all down to be carnaged to death. I'm going to try and get out of that.
I think we should all have a look to see if we are actually automatically because I heard about that, but I didn't think it went through. I thought they had
do crazy shit with your body, your cadaver. Listen to this, what they do. They do medical experiments. They bury people, right, waste up in a field, corpses, to see the effect of like weather and insects and shit like that, and infections will have on these cadavers. They do shit like that, medical experiments. It's not all about organs. And this organ thing, you can go to Mumbai in India, be kidnapped, and they'll sell your organs off. But don't worry, we left you a kidney, you're still alive. It's fucking terrible.
Okay, on to nicer things. It's Sunday evening. It's 7 o'clock.
We missed Globebusters, but Martin, Sheer and James
Globebusters are on holiday, aren't they? They're usually on at 8 o'clock, but they're on holiday.
Not the same without it on a Sunday, but
it's true. But we all deserve a bit of a break, you know.
Loads of hangouts now. I love it, James. I can go round everywhere every day, and there's so many people having.
Yeah,
you know.
Joseph Green's doing a fantastic job, and he set up a website selling stuff.
Oh, cool.
So if anyone's got a flat Earth product, get in touch with Joseph Green.
Name?
Joseph Green.
Okay.
So the website's called Flat Earth Emporium.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Emporium.
Well,
cool.
he's got my Flat Earth sticky tape up there, which is for sale on eBay. And IPS says he really likes it because it's got a clear background.
I still got some tape.
You should have. Yeah, I've gone through quite a few rolls myself, sending stuff through eBay to people. But yeah, I've still got a few rolls left, and I've got about maybe 20 or 30 rolls left.
Taking off.
So but at some point I might have to get some more printed up, so that'd be nice. But Joseph Green was kind enough to put it on his website, so people know where to get it as well.
Cool. I guess somebody called James comes in on my comments. He's been coming for 2 years now.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that James who's selling the posters and all the other merchandise, it's not me, is it? It's another James.
No, it's not you, James. It's another James. He's a really nice chap, really cool. Let's just have a look at my chat here. Hey, William the Conch. I do love the Conch.
I'm just going to get some food.
Sorry?
I'm just going to get some food. If you go through the chat.
Yeah, fine. You do anyway. I won't be hanging around for long, James. I got to do myself some food very shortly. And my old lady, I'm going to go to the chip shop because I'm lazy and I don't want to cook anything.
All right, then. Well, shall we wrap this up in terms of
Patricia Steers here. Anthony, are you coming to the UK meeting Leamington Spa 22nd? Indeedy. I'll be putting promos out, guys, and there'll be loads of information coming up to the date of the Saturday after next in the UK. Hi, Mary, which is the Saturday the 22nd, Jefferson Park, Royal Leamington Spa, Warwickshire. Be there, it'll be a shape, not a spear. Hi, Reverend. Good day to you. I hope you're all having an awesome Sunday, by the way. Awesome, wicked Sunday has been an awesome flat earther. You all know how awesome it is. So let me have a little look through. See who's here. Square Eye, Fruity, Teen, and Upper, who's one of my countrymen. Udit Spuds. Oh, she's lovely, Udit. That's the lady who was in a hangout last night, who thought she was on her own in the world there, James, being a flat earther.
Yeah.
I'm obviously Martin D.
Oh, she thought she was on her own, but and then all of a sudden she discovered everyone on YouTube.
She's here. She's one of us now. She's one of the gang. So,
What's her name?
Udit Baz, do subscribe. So I'll put the link in the description box. Well, she was in a beautiful place, and she was in Israel, and she lives on the coast, and it's paradise there, paradise. Yeah. But she's proper Buddha. She's like a pure spiritual lady, like proper hippie. I love her. She's brilliant. You'll see.
Yeah, the skies are clear at the moment. I got a blue sky outside.
You had a moon last night.
Oh, I missed it. Missed it.
Oh, well, that's funny because Stan got it in West London. I got my tripod and my camera ready. I'm going to be doing some shots tonight and see if there's any reality in this weather thing that Nathan was on about, Stephen Chester earlier. See if there's any wandering stars or planetary bodies near to the moon. See if they affect it in any way or affect the weather in any way when in a certain permeation. Keep an eye on it, all of you. I can see when it comes round, James. It goes down right now in the west, northwesterly sky. I can literally 4 or 5 hours later it'll start to come round again.
Yeah, it's not like it's going very far away.
It's not going far away, and it's circling, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
I used to con my mind into think that I could feel
that it's gone underneath the planet and back round again. Oh, it's gone to Australia and it's coming back round again.
Yeah, I did. I conned my mind into thinking it, and now I know the truth. I can feel that as well.
Yeah.
Emotion, and I know it's not going far. It's back round. It doesn't take long either. It illuminates in the rest of the plane, and it's coming back round because it's high summer.
Hey, Martin, you know, before we found out the Earth was flat, right? You know, did you ever have that feeling, or did you ever hear about like the propaganda of them telling us that if the Earth gets any closer to the sun, you know, we'll burn up, it will shrivel up? There's always that. Yeah, there's always that possibility of
what
the sun finishing
going red dwarf, they say, and it's about to do it. They right? No, it's a middle-aged It's a middle-aged star, but it could go red dwarf, meaning that it will bloat out first, and it will encompass the inner planet, including Mars, Mercury, and Venus, and Earth. Right? Literally, just incinerate us, the sun. So this is either before Betelgeuse goes supernova, because apparently supernova that's going to go, and that's up in Orion's belt. Apparently, that's going to blow on us.
You're blowing my mind now.
So, if you believe anything, we know it's all lies, James. Yeah. Whatever's going on up there, you know, I deny the sky. I don't know what it is. To me, it's locked up in the firmament, and you can only see it from the ground. You get up there, this goes.
Well, I just want to say that recently, when I realised that there was something in the back of my mind, a little memory of like the thought of the Earth going into the sun, and sort of when you realise that the Earth is flat, then all those sort of slight subconscious fears of those programmed ideas, they all leave. They all go. And so one of the great things about becoming a flat earther is because you're not in that subconsciously, you're losing all those mental things.
It makes such a difference to my life, James. Honestly, I can just focus on real things now and accomplish things instead of thinking about bullshit like gamma ray bursts. You know, they could wipe out all the electrics on Earth, or being a red dwarf, or super volcanoes, or nuclear war, or plague, or you know, that was funny enough. Yesterday in the G20, although it was complete psyop, CC, climate change, and that was their main narrative. The only other thing that they were focusing on was how to approach a pandemic. Oh dear, they never usually mention that. Is that where they're going? Did they try that out with Ebola? Was that a test? Well, yeah. Even the natives, the locals knew it was a test. You know, that they were basically being infected.
And Zika turned into nothing as well, you know, unfortunately. But they just started to spray everybody with chemicals, and that's what's causing the baby's defect.
The Earth is flat. Zika virus, because the Earth is flat. But the guy on the news, oh, come on, James. You haven't seen it. There's a guy, he's on the news in America, and he's talking about Zika, and he says, and Zika's coming here because the Earth is flat. And he says it 3 times.
Does he?
Yeah, man. He's on CBS News, this guy, back about 6 months ago.
Oh, you mean a guy in the general public was saying that when he was interviewed?
No, he's a doctor or something. They pulled him in. And he's talking about Zika virus and, you know, the possibility of it becoming a pandemic or coming to America. And he said, oh, it may come here with the Earth being flat. No? And he said,
so basically, I just want to let everybody know, if they pick up out of date canvas signs like this,
yes,
they can, if what the deal is, if they can send it to me, but they also have to pay for the postage back. So what they do is, or if they want to drop it off to me in London, they can do that as well, and I'll just exchange them straight away. If they let me know that they've got 3 canvas signs, they can pop over and I'll exchange them straight away with some research flat earth signs. But if somebody's in the Midlands or something and they want a research flat earth sign, they can either pay for the postage or they can post me this and then pay for the postage back. Yeah. So that's kind of like my deal. You got that?
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal, James. Yeah,
it's fair, isn't it? I mean, if I could pay for the postage, I'll post them out.
You know, they think we earn it. All it does is cost me everything. So yeah, I agree totally. Thank you, Patricia. Patricia's just posted. She'll be in England meet at Royal Leamington Spa, and she's going to be with Nathan and myself. So anybody who wants to come and meet us, there's quite a gathering actually coming anyway. So please join up and come and see us. Okay, it's going to be really funky. Martin, what's that? Yeah, I know. I read a lot. Geeky, Martin. A bit like yourself. We're all geeky flat earthers anyway. Admit it. Anyway, I'm going to dick out now. So, James, you still there, love?
Yeah, see you later. I'm going to go and get my dinner.
All right, peace and love. I'm going to the chip shop now and get some food because I'm absolutely starving. My mother doesn't want any chippy. I do. All right, thanks, James. He's gone. Okay, guys, thank you very much. How many have I got of you in my chat feed? 96 of you. Okay, thanks. Don't forget to like, subscribe or share. No, you can't burn the books up. They're the only recording that they can't alter because they're getting rid of the library book and they got rid of 70 in the last 7 years in Britain. They're getting rid of 700 in the next 10 years. All library books will be gone. Only information available is on PDF form where it can be altered. Grab books while you can, guys. Anyway, peace and love, guys. Whatever you do, look after one another and be kind to one another. Okay, that's my message for today. And be clear in thought. Peace and love. Thank you, everybody, for coming.